Hello everybody and welcome to another Deckman Productions video. We will be reviewing the Atlas Master Series Articulated Auto Rack. If you are looking for the ultimate of auto racks, this is a must-have set. The Articulated Auto Rack is a two-car set, of course. We're going to unbox it, show you some precautions, go over some features, and how to assemble it. So let's get started unboxing this set. So we pulled the case out of the box. If you look in the right lower corner of the styrofoam case, it's going to say, "Note, please read instructions before unpacking." There is a special way you need to unpack these so you don't damage them. There will be an instruction sheet just like this, and there's the section for unpacking the model. And that is because, if I flip this open, in the instructions, it's just going to tell you to make sure, let's put this the right way, that you remove these styrofoam pieces before you try to pull the model out. And it'll point out all the pieces you need to remove before you can pull these out. And then you'll notice on the end, that's to protect the doors. That's something that Lionel should have done, because I had a couple of Lionel auto rack doors get damaged. So they should have packed theirs the same way. But it's just styrofoam. So that's what it looks like when you pull that end piece off. While we're here, we'll go ahead and point out some features. The Atlas Master Series articulated two-car sets. These do have couplers that are attached to the trucks. The trucks are metal, couplers are metal. I know there's people who complain about thumbtacks, but manufacturers are still using them. They do not feature, these do not feature rotating wheel bearing caps like the Lionel versions do. But the undercarriage is pretty nice. It does feature air tanks and air lines. It does feature simulated side panels, which are not see-through like the Lionel version of the auto rack. These do have an interior where you can load cars, and of course the doors on these do close. What I like about these is there's an actual little latch, so you can keep the doors from opening while these are in motion. It does have the simulated airline on the coupler. I find the TTX graphics on these really nice. And the other car will be the same way. Now you'll notice that one end will not have doors on it, and that's because these are the articulated set. So there will be no doors or no trucks on the one end when you take it out of the box. And I'll show you how to assemble that. So you have to assemble that car with this truck which has the accordion on it, to this car. So you have to put all three of those pieces together to make the articulated. Now I want to point out something here. On the truck that has the diaphragm on it, which is this here, on the underside there are mounting tabs, and hopefully you can see it. Yes, there's 3 holes in the mounting tab for your selection. The hole closest to the wheel is for 042, the middle hole is for 054, and the end hole is for 063 or larger. So I will be mounting these on the center hole 054 because most of my curves are 054. Alright, so the only way you're getting the accordion truck on is you gotta flip the car upside down. And see if I can get it close up here. There we go. So you're gonna take out the little screw that this gives you, and I mean it's tiny. Probably be best to use a magnetic type of screwdriver, but I don't have one. So you sort of got to fit the accordion in the truck in at the same time. There we go. It's not the easiest thing to do, that's for sure. Okay, we finally got the attaching truck between the 2 cars installed, and of course you got to sort of fit it in with the accordion at the same time. It can be a little tough, but you have to play with it to get the truck up on the car and the accordion inside at the same time. Also, while I had this car upside down, somebody had mentioned to make sure on one of the forums that you keep check on these couplers, because they actually had to screw back off and this tab touched the center rail and threw some sparks around and actually almost caught fire from what he was saying. But I don't know about the fire part, but I can see sparks flying around. So, and supposedly from what he was saying, Atlas is going to update the trucks on the next run of articulateds. At any rate, let's get the other end of the car in place, and we'll go from there. Okay, we have the 2 cars connected, and like I said, according to Atlas, these will run on 042. I can't imagine that, but I have mine set for 054. As I showed you, there's 3 hole settings: 042, 054, 063. Now to get this monster up on the track. Okay, the Atlas articulated auto rack is up on the track, and as you can see, it's once you assemble it, it's a pretty big assembly here. Pretty free rolling too. I mean, it doesn't take much effort to get it going. It's kind of nice. Also, same thing. You can load this with cars. This is a 143 scale die-cast car. even though it's a tad bit bigger than the train itself, which is 1/48 scale, it fits in there really nice. So you can actually load, and this fits in easier than the Lionel cars. So you can actually load these up with 1/43 scale die-cast cars and be okay. So here we have a 054 curve, and we will run the auto rack through. And as you can see, there is a little bit of overhang, but not as bad as the Lionel version, which is the single. It's not, of course, Lionel is not articulated, but the two-car set actually doesn't have as much overhang to it, it seems. Alright, the reason why you have to be careful of your choice of settings is because if you choose the wrong setting, you'll actually damage the car. So this is the 054 curve. I chose the 054. You can see how close the two cars come together when they're in the curve. So that's why you have to be careful. The overhang on these really isn't too bad for as long as they are, so that's probably maybe why Atlas says they'll run on 042, although I wouldn't recommend it. But the coupler ends up near the center of the rail on 054, so the overhang on these are not really that bad for the size of this train. Alright, and that's the end of our review of the Atlas O articulated auto rack. These things have been in production for quite a while, so these are not something new. But I figured I would do a review on them in case somebody was considering it and said, oh, it'll never run on my layout. But if you have the 54, it'll run on there. And the overhang is not that bad either. Okay, thanks a lot.